Hey everybody, it's October 24th, 2012. My name is Dan Boul. I'm president of 65 Amps. And I'm very excited today to show you, even though it's still the prototype, because the production one I made went out the door already, the Producer 6L. And it is our 6L6 version of the Producer. It has different output transformer, different choke, and a few different component changes in there, mild circuit changes to sort of maximize the performance of a 6L6. We're also going to run a little special on these. For the first 20, I'll sell them to you direct. If you want to order these in, I will sign them. I'll give you pictures of the build along the way. And you can buy it directly from us. We want to get some of these out of the door before Christmas. So anybody who wants to call in and give me a credit card or PayPal, I'll build you an amp right away. I think you'll be very happy with it. I had a production version of this, and David Ryan Harris took it to the studio this week. Is recording with Richie Sambora. So I'll have that back next week. In the meantime, we're back to just our prototype. So the production one actually sounds better and has the regular cabinet. This is just my shop one here. So it's the 6L6 Producer, the Producer 6L. Just to recap, for those of you that don't know it, it is a high current, low voltage setup in the power section. So we're running the tubes on this amp below 300 volts and with the appropriate amount of current being delivered in there. So that allows for some nice performance gains out of the tube. It also is going to help the tube life some, quite a bit, but not for perpetuity. They're going to last like they should. And what you're getting out of it is a happy tube that's bathed in rich AC that's not under a lot of stress. So after some mild circuit changes, we discovered that going high current, low voltage allowed us to get better performance out of EL34s first, which is what we did on the first Producer. 6L6 is second. What we got was exactly what both those tubes were lacking. The EL34, known for great, smooth, harmonic distortion. Clean sound, not so much. And we were able to get a really nice clean sound out of EL34s. And the tubes are just not breaking a sweat. You can actually touch them in these amps. You can't hold them, but you can touch them without getting a second-degree burn, and the transformers don't get hot at all.
Can I throw something in here?
When I'm done, yeah, hang on just a second. And the 6L6, known for its great clean sound, but not known for great distortion. So when the 6L6 was put in this environment, all of a sudden I get great distortion out of it. Like I was just playing a little bit there. I have a Strat, a low output Strat. Still have, even though I play bad licks. I think I'm overdriving Ustream a little bit there, but you get the idea. You get the idea. Lots of vocabulary. There's 2 channels with my buzzy guitar. There's a channel that, you know, a little more American sound. You can hit the bump on this and get a little heated up American sound. Or go to the other side with the bump off, you get a good sort of British rhythm sound, you know. So, hey, Andrew Aldridge up in Gear Music in Canada. Hey, Gear Music, Gear Music, Gear Music. I also have to say that the offer to do the first 20 of these is only in the United States. Outside of the United States, you're going to have to go through our dealers. But same deal, if you want to pay for it now, we'll rush it. I'll take pictures with it, sign it, make it all special. So also, before I forget, Andrew Aldridge, everyone calls him Reg, Aldridge, get it? Is up at Gear Music in Toronto. Peter Stroud is going to be there doing a clinic on November 2nd. So if you are in half a day's drive of Gear Music in Toronto, go up there and check it out. Peter's going to be there playing gear. If I am not mistaken, I believe that Gear Music is ordering 1 or 2 of these this week. Is that right, Reg? Blaine B asked a good question here. How about a little producer or a small 12-watt little Elvis type low? Yeah, actually, I think with a lot of our designs, they're going to benefit from doing this high current, low voltage thing. Yeah, Rich was talking with Scott this morning, so I think it's all set up. Yeah, I've never heard of those amps, Chell. Usually guys go for toroidal transformers to save money. So I know about 5 amp companies that have tried to do toroidal transformers, and it didn't work. Maybe this guy's got a new thing. Duesenberg is doing that in Europe. It's usually bargain basement amps that have toroidal transformers in them. You know, a lot of Chinese amps. Those ones that you see at NAMM from the Chinese companies directly, not the Chinese people that are building them for all the big people, but their own little amps that have a lot of toroidal. Anyway, Chell, we'll talk about toroidal transformers later, okay? Anyway, the Producer 6L. Let me throw a Les Paul on here and give you a little contrast. Just for fun, a little bit of change. I have to adjust this knob a little bit for humbuckers. Happy 6L6s, no? On the neck pickup. Miles ran out. He got a phone call. He had to take off. So. You go over to the dirt side. Hey, Josh. Hey, Paul Ovenstad's here. What's up, dude? So Andrew, I'm going to our regular 212. This is a high-powered one with the gold in it instead of the blue. Is this amp dimed? No, the channel I'm on's on 4.5. 10 inches of snow. You must be up north, huh? HMS Hood says, Mom, I'd like to jam with that. That was freaking genius. You like it, huh? Good. I like it too. I'm very excited about it, actually. I think it's fun. I've never had a 6L6 amp that had that much love in it. Laura B. Whitmore. You know Laura? Oh, get my headphones caught in the wheel on my chair. Very boring. Hey Dan, this is Peter Fogel, capital Fee like Ventura. I bought the Strymon Flint with the Ventura at Max in the Hay. Would you recommend using it in the front or the effects loop? Well, thank you, Peter, for buying one of our amps. I appreciate it sincerely. I would say try it both ways and see what you like. Yes, Laura is a mom you should jam with. Yeah, Andrew's from Canada. He loves winter. Those guys understand winter time. As I'm sitting here in my shorts, it's going to be 80 degrees here in LA today. Okay, I'll shut up and let you guys talk. I hope you don't mind. In the effects loop, it seems to steal some treble. Yeah, I mean, you're going through 2 jacks. I mean, there's no way to not lose tone when you do stuff like that. Also, the way an effects loop's set up, they're always inserted in sort of the dullest part of the signal chain. So if we put an active loop in there, you know, with a FET, which is what a lot of people do. Hi, Bill Studio. If we put an active loop in there, I got to charge more because it costs a lot more to do that. But that'll help. But then you're reamping the signal through a FET, and it doesn't sound the same. It's going to sound different. So that's channel 1 with the bump on. So good American sort of dirt, you know. I love the phone. Kid Gloves asks a good question. Oh, and Mr. Hood has another one here. I got rid of my verb tank and now I'm running a verb pedal. No tone squash. Exactly. Spring reverb is being far eclipsed by modern digital stuff. It just sounds better. I don't care. You know, I love the sound of old spring reverb and it's cool. It's very hard to reproduce. But, you know, this Strymon pedal kills. It's wonderful. I got rid of my 64 Fender reverb tank after I got this because I just didn't like it anymore after hearing this. Kid Gloves asks, what's the difference between a passive effects loop and a parallel effects loop? Well, they're kind of 2 different things. A passive loop can be parallel also. They're just sort of not related. A passive loop is one where you just literally cut an insert in and you can insert your pedal in the signal chain. That's all it is. The opposite of a passive loop is an active loop, which has some sort of amplification built into it and you can adjust it. So most of them just have a FET, which is a field effects transistor, which is like what Dan Boul puts on the front end of his amps, and you know, a lot of clean boosters are just FETs. They sound pretty clean. Now a parallel loop is something where along your signal chain you create a loop that's parallel to the signal chain, so you enter on one side, come in on the other, which is kind of what we do. Our passive loop is parallel. The opposite of a parallel loop is a series loop. A series loop means you're literally just in line, straight in line. Why would you want to amplify the effects loop? You can just control it. There's more control that way. Also, a FET brightens it up a little bit because pedals are tone suckers no matter what you do with them. The best pedals with the best cables are tone suckers. There's no way around it. So the FET kind of brightens things up, makes you feel like it's a little brighter. Is the Ventura parallel or series? All of ours are just a parallel passive loop. So, you're getting an Xmas card, dude, Dan. Oh, okay. Actually, for the loop on this, there's no change in the signal. Whatever it measures, that's the way it is. You don't get a signal drop when you go in here. You are going through 2 more jacks and more wire and 8 more solder joints. And that will affect your sound. There's no way around it. You cannot run signal through a solder joint without it changing the sound. So if you wanted to have a loop that's adjustable where you could cool, because there are some pedals that don't like passive loops, most notably TC Electronics. They're too hot. TC Electronics pedals all have a buffer in there that boosts the output on it, and it'll kill a passive loop. It's too much. How about the true bypass switch on an effects loop like a new Vox AC30C2? I've never looked in that, but true bypass is sort of a marketing term because you're still going through jacks and solder joints, so there's no bypass there. You're just not going through the circuit in the pedal. This is the British rhythm sound. Doesn't sound like 6L6s at all, does it? Pink Paisley 69s writes, you? That's me. So anyway, I have two numbers on the board behind me, which I hope you can read, one of which is 303-514-9457. That is for Rich Ross, our sales guy. The other one is 818-760-5089. That is for my desk. So for the first 20 people that want to order one of these, we will do it for you. You have to pay for it. And we will build it special. Rush. Chell AC, how long till you deliver the 6L amp to Europe? It's about 4 weeks. The direct price is the same as retail. It's our dealers. No, Fonzarelli, those numbers aren't for phone sex. But if you give me your credit card, I will talk dirty to you. Happily. It's no problem. The price is the same. It's $3,600. So the same price at the dealer, same price from us. The thing that we're running into is a lot of our dealers don't have money to stock amps. And so you can still always buy this through your dealer. But the dealer landscape is changing dramatically in the United States. So we're not cutting off any dealers at all. We're just offering it in addition to our dealers. Sort of like a lot of products. If you want to buy Apple, you can buy direct from their website. You can buy Strymon pedals direct from their website or go buy them at a dealer. Most pedal companies are that way, I think. Pink Paisley 69 says, you've mentioned old tubes are better made than new tubes due to the new ones being made on old machines, etc. Would NOS tubes make your amp sound better? Yes, absolutely. I'll make any amp sound better. You know what I'm seeing, Bill Studio? To be honest, that's a good question. So Bill Studio writes, I went to my local Mexican restaurant last night and was very surprised of the lack of people. Do you see a lack of customers compared to last year? No, I don't. To be honest with you, I have a lack of dealers that can put the gear in their shop. There's a lot of elements going on right now that make it really hard for boutique dealers. So I'm going to try to make life easier on the boutique dealers. If they refer me the sale, I'm going to pay them. So they can sell our stuff and make money without any cash out of their pocket. So you can still go to any of your dealers and order these amps. And if they have them in stock, then they're going to beat me to the punch. But I get a lot of guys that call in and say they can't find something in a store. They called 15 stores and they don't have it in stock. And man, I used to work in a music store. It is rough when you're in a recession. I worked in a music store during the Reagan recession and the first Bush recession, the Bush senior. It's hard. Those guys are struggling. So anything you can do to go support your local music store, do it. Because these guys are all hurting. And they're keeping up the good fight. But they're all hurting. So I'm going to try to make it easier on those guys to sell our stuff. Less cash out of their pocket or no cash out of their pocket, depending on how they want to do it. But I get calls all day, every day from people that want to buy our amps. So to your question, Bill, I think the customers are out there. Just a lot of the retailers are struggling. So I'm trying to come up with a way to support the retailers. At the same time, keep cash coming in the door. I have to have cash in the door or I'll shut down. Christopher Bott says, is that like the Shopatron setup with some manufacturers? I'm not sure what Shopatron is. What is that? Bill Studi says, tough, yes, especially with the advent of the internet. A lot of national competition. You get a no tax-free ship company. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, the market is different. Andrew Aldridge just confirmed, if you're in Ontario or anywhere in Canada for that fact, you can order a producer from Gear Music. They're putting an order in for 2 of them today, I think. So, yeah, if you want to order through me and pay me for the amp, you can have the choice. I'll ship it right to you. I'm going to pay your local dealer anyway. They're going to get a commission off of it. I can ship it to the dealer. You can pick it up there. Or I can ship it to your house. That's whatever you want to do. That's going to keep money going to the local dealer, so they're happy to be positive about 65 amps. When they can afford to stock stuff, they will. When they can't, they can still make money. Rivera and Music Man do this. Yeah. So I'm starting today. I want you guys to tell me right now, I want to buy one of these. And we'll get the ball rolling. So, yeah, Boogie still. Can you still buy Boogies direct? Have to check that out. I know Boogie has done direct at different points in their life. We're doing sort of a hybrid direct. I mean, we're still going to sell through dealers. And this deal's only in the United States. So for you guys in Europe, it's all still the same. For you guys in Canada and Mexico, it's the same. This is just for the United States. Our guys are hurting here. And this is a way I can get customers in their store and get money in their cash register. A lot of guys here are telling me their store's empty. There's just not people coming in. And I like a lot of it has to do with it being an election year, because election year is a lot of uncertainty. And that makes people quit spending money. I'm the same way. I do that. I want to see what happens here in 2 weeks. So yes, please support your local dealers. A lot of guys are writing in here, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stay in business. And I'm trying to make sure that the guys that represent us out in the world can stay in business. Same price either way. I'm not going to undercut my dealers. Forget it. That'd be silly. That's suicide. All you're going to get is, if you pay for the amp, I'm going to guarantee you about a 4-week delivery. And you'll have a signed one from me, and I'll go over it, make it kind of fun for you. Yeah, Guitar is not selling a lot of high-end amps anymore. Chandler's in London still does. There are guys in England or Chandler's, and they were our original guys in England. Guitar kind of came and went. Steve Gray's a fantastic guy. The mainstream of his business are not this sort of amp. It's becoming like that for a lot of people because the economy is so bad. I still have a lot of people asking for it, though. I still have a ton of customers. I have orders on the board that are great. But it's tough. So, Chell, how should have a separate dealer in Sweden, though? Being in the EU, Norway is not. Yeah, well, you can order from our dealer in Norway. Arne just opened up a store in Oslo. So it's easy shipping, and I think he gives you a trial period on the amps if you want to order one. He'll send it to you, and I think he gives you 2 weeks. Pink Paisley says, for everybody living in northern Germany who can't find what they want, Max Guitar Store in The Hague is worth the long way. Yeah, Max Guitar is great. They're in the Netherlands, and they can get you stuff, and I think they give you a little trial period as well. And if you're in northwestern Germany, you can just drive over the border because they have a store in Nijmegen. So Nijmegen is right over the border, I believe, from Hamburg. And you can drive over the border, buy one, take it back to Germany. Zurück nach Deutschland. Andrew Aldridge says, you should stay in business and people should buy your amps. Yes, thank you. That's the problem. Customs and tax is a bitch. Yeah. You know, talk to Arne Hast about that in Norway, because I think he's thinking about trying to open up a store in Sweden. So Renier, also in Nijmegen. Yeah, you brought it up. So yeah, Max Guitar is fantastic. They got everything you want. They keep good stock. They're knowledgeable people. So the two brothers run that place. Mark van de Ende runs the store in Nijmegen, and Robert van der Ende runs the store in The Hague. And they share stock, everything. It's one company. And good store, good guitars too. They always have a fantastic selection of custom shop stuff. Guitar's out of tune, isn't it? Great coffee too. That's right. Robert has that cappuccino machine in the hallway in his store. I've been there. It's great because it's tuned to Gibson. That's funny. Let me tune it up while I'm BSing for a minute. Robert has his cappuccino machine in his store, and he loves any excuse to drink coffee. He will drink coffee shots, espresso shots, till he explodes. And there we go. So it's worth a trip to Max Guitar just for that. Oh, Gibsons, why do you haunt me? My kingdom for a Gibson that stays in tune, huh? If they didn't sound so good, I'd be pretty mad about it. But I certainly like a Gibson. Let's see if it sounds any better. Do I know any Hagar? Oh my God. Oh, Conrad Volker has a good comment here. No, Conrad is the answer, but I'll tell you why in a second. Stump the guitar player. I can't think of any Hagar songs right now other than I Can't Drive 55. That's all I know. Well, yeah, I know some Montrose, if you want that. Montrose. Montrose. Yeah. Out of tune again already. Better. Yeah, Gibson. Okay. Questions. Okay, so back to Conrad. Isn't it tough to run a business in California because of taxes and other regulations? No. Taxes really aren't that high here. If I was a giant corporation, I think that would be a concern, but at my size, it's not. My tax rate's really low. Wouldn't someplace like Texas be more business friendly? Yes, if I were making a commodity that didn't rely on the music business. Unfortunately, most of the music business is here in LA, so if I want to have a good presence in the music business, I need to be here. And the business that I would miss by not being here does not outweigh lower tax rates. It's okay to pay low taxes as long as you got customers running out of your ears. If you don't have customers, you need to be where the business is, and it's here. Unfortunately, 1 out of 3 tracks in the world are recorded in Los Angeles. Every major artist, regardless of genre of music, comes to LA on a regular basis. So it makes it kind of tough. I'm kind of in a situation. Yeah, that's a good point. Somebody brings up Nashville would be another good place I could do it. It wouldn't be as rich as LA is. But yeah, if we get to big production, we get to a point where we're making a ton of amps, I'm probably going to have to build a shop outside of California. Okay. Bad Motor Scooter, Lead to Good Rock, and Chicken Stack, you got to wear red. Tone sounds killer. Yeah, you guys are funny. If you tried this design with the 6v6 or EL84s, would the transformers be any cheaper or lighter? They'll be lighter. They'll be a little bit cheaper, not much. I mean, my cost on them is going to be like $10 or $12 less, just because they're smaller. Not much, considering that, you know, that's like a 7 or 8% discount. What in the hell? I don't get it. I think it's time for new strings on my Les Paul. let's see. Boy, the chat window keeps going back up to the top. There's some good tech. If you make a low volt 5 watt amp, is the transformer smaller and cheaper? The voltage isn't what saves me money. It's the current. Producing the extra current is what makes a difference. Do I know any Bachman Turner overdrive? I used to. Wow. You're talking like junior high here. But baby, it's dancing living. That kind of thing. I'm gonna go a little cleaner sound. Something like that. I don't know. Could I recommend any NOS 6v6s? Yeah. Anything from RCA or Tungsol are my favorites. There's not a whole lot of options, you know. It's just an American tube. So you got RCA, Tungsol, General Electric, and Sylvania. All of which are good. So, you know, Doug's Tubes is definitely the place to go for NOS. I agree. Yeah, Mike Kropotkin at KCA NOS Tubes. Mazda 6v6s are not really Mazdas. I think those are General Electrics that they relabeled. They never made 6v6s in Europe. They would just buy them from a U.S. manufacturer and relabel them, just like you can get RCA EL34s. Those are Mullards. For you guys in Britain, if you're looking for 6v6s, Watford Valves is the place I like over there. Sounds like good 6L6 stuff, doesn't it? Fonzarelli, test, check. That's on the dirty American stuff, so it's nice, great rhythm sound. I mean, 6L6s, man, it's just 1 in 1,000 6L6 amps that distort that nicely. What's the newest Clapton that I know? What is this today? What's the newest Clapton that I know? Probably the Strat. Woo. Stump the guitar player. Yeah, but you're picking some weird stuff. What is the song on Journeyman? There was a couple of good ones. Old Love. Fonzarelli has a good question here. Hey, Dan. Yay, Dan. Why is it that all tweed Fenders, don't matter if they're 6L6 or 6V6, they all sound like fuzz pedals when you wind them up? Transformers. Little bitty transformers. No one at Fender ever imagined that people would want to push an amp into distortion. Before you accuse me. Yeah, those are covers, though. I can get a Strat and do that pretty good. Doesn't he also do the Ray Charles song on that record? My mother told me. Hard Times, thank you. That's a beautiful song. Oh my God, that song brings me to tears every time I hear it. Bill Studio says, I have a fairly new 65 Deluxe reissue, but it sounds kind of crappy. What is the single best upgrade? Mercury Magnetics Transformer? Yeah. Or a 65. Just buy a 65 and be done. Let's go back to a little single coil. Single coil. Just for fun, just for fun. I have to keep the show kind of short today. I'll cut it off here shortly. What 65 amp is similar to a Deluxe reissue? I don't really copy a Deluxe on any of mine. That sort of really good 6L or 6V6 behavior you can get out of our Tupelo or Ventura. Eric Yar says, can you upgrade an amp to the low volt high current, or would it require a complete mod? Not just the power transformer? Yeah, it's a lot more than just the power transformer. Bill Studio, if you go on our YouTube channel, I've done the show with a Tupelo 4 or 5 times. I think if you do a search through our channel for 65 Tupelo, or just go on our channel and search for Tupelo, you'll find some. Andrew Aldridge says, I have to go. I'll see some of you November 2nd with Peter. Yes, again, if you're in Toronto or within a reasonable drive from Toronto, November 2nd, Peter Stroud, our business partner, will be doing a clinic at Gear Music in Toronto. Paul Overstad says you've been mentioning low voltage models of some of the other amps in your line. How about doing that with the Ventura? The Ventura's kind of there, actually. The 6v6 is in that we run, I think, if I remember correctly, over about 90 volts colder than the Tupelo, and it has more current. Andrew says he and Peter will be playing that night at the club up the street from Gear. It's free, so good night to be in Toronto. Sounds like good. Let's put some grease on this. I've been playing it completely dry the whole time. Little verb and echo. Can I swap the cream face on my Ventura with black tolex, or does that have to be done in-house? It'd be better if we did it for you, but it's not a matter of re-tolexing, it's just pulling that piece out. And on the Ventura, I don't know that it's removable now that I think about it. Turn down the echo volume here a little bit. Come on, Dan, wake up. I'm sorry, man. I'm tired. We're just getting started. Plug in a telly or something. Drink some coffee. I do have my telly. Oh yeah, good Texas 6L67, right? That's so hard to play. Kid gloves, yes, I would consider. I just kicked something with my foot there. Sorry. I would consider doing that. I just don't have them here right now. I don't have both here. So, sorry about that. So I'll get my little telly. It's not standard sounding telly. The bridge pickup's actually like a stacked humbucker, but you get the idea. I don't have a very standard telly around here. I'm sure this thing's way out of tune because I haven't played it in a week. Let's do that really quick, y'all. This is my Telecaster from Andy Elliott. Oh yes, I'm a flat guitar with some dead strings. I'll get it started at least. And turn the effects off so you can hear the guitar for a minute. And I should rather stay in a Best Western or La Quinta Resort Hotel and Motel. I've got to pick one today. Good question. Whichever one's cheaper. Little amp jumps, doesn't it? Back down to... Kid Gloves asks, what's the best way to record one of your amps direct? No cabinet. A Palmer cabinet simulator, I think, is the best way to do it. There's not any real way to do it otherwise. Taking the signal out of the effects loop is you're just getting the preamp. So, and the cab and the speaker is definitely part of the tone. I don't know any way to record direct that sounds very good, to be honest. Yeah, sometimes you're forced to do that, but Kojo Guitar says, what about Two Notes Torpedo is about the best thing I've seen. Ain't cheap, though. Oh, I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. I'm no pro, but I never understood how you could get a good sound direct. It's hard to do. It's very hard to do. I think you get better results just playing on Amp Farm or something on Pro Tools. Part of the thing about a tube amp is its interaction with the speakers. That's what makes the tubes act the way they do. When you stick them into a dead box like an attenuator or anything like that, the tubes don't act the same. They're just up against a brick wall. have wanted to try the Kemper profiling on a 65 to see if it works. What is the Kemper profiling? With regard to high current, low voltage, is something even worth considering for an EL84? Yes, I plan on doing it. Just to confirm, you have a fat backlog. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. If you want to order one of these direct, I can build it faster because I'm going to build with your money instead of mine. I have the resources to build way faster than what we're building. But cash flow is the kick. All my dealers are broke. All of my vendors are broke. Everybody is just hurting for cash flow. So if I can clean up the cash flow element of this, I think I can help our dealers, I can help us, and I can help our vendors. And you guys are the way to do that. We're just going to inject consumer capital in at a different place in the chain and see what happens. As far as I know, we've already got a couple orders for these today. So anybody else want to jump in, feel free. But a couple of direct orders off the show. So I'm really worried for a lot of our dealers. HMS Hood, yes. Yeah, we have a lot of orders on the board, and it's good. Do I accept food stamps? No, I accept food. Play that lick right. Is that right? I'll take your credit card or PayPal. How much pizza for a Ventura combo? Lifetime supply. Ever play any country licks really badly, HMS Hood? You told me your name and I'm forgetting who it is. Country. I'm not a great country player. I wish I was. I was just doing Hot Rod Lincoln. I basically... I kind of got the amp on the edge of distortion right now, but... about as country as I can get, man. Taylor Swift isn't country. She doesn't even have a southern accent. Hey Dan, is there much difference in sound with a London Pro combo and a London Pro head into a 112 redline cabinet? Not really. The extension cab's going to have a little more bass to it just because there's more air in it than there is in a combo cab, but it's not huge. I'd say a 5% difference. I think the extension cabinet and head sound a little better. The combo is definitely easier to lug around, one hand, but I like the flexibility of owning the cabinet too, because you can do a lot of things with it. I'm sitting here reading and playing guitar at the same time. Yes, Christopher Bott, I did see Crossroads years ago. They made Ralph Macchio look really good. Somebody asked me earlier, do I like any other speakers other than Celestion? Yeah, there's not many new production speakers that I really like. I like old Jensens. The ones made today, I think, are kind of second rate. WGS speakers, I've only heard them at trade shows. I know people like them, but I'm not really an expert on them. I got a Celestion Lynch back this week. Haven't put it in yet. George Lynch. Okay. I like old EVs. That's right. The old EVLs from the 70s are great. Incredibly heavy speaker. Nice sound, though. It's a lot of echo, isn't it? A lot of verb. Turn them babies off. I gotta wind it down here in a minute, fellas. Sloppy. So there you have it. Let's see. What's the difference between the Alnico Blue and the Gold speakers? Good question, Blaine. It's just a heavier version. The Gold is a heavier version of the Blue. Paul, have fun clearing your yard of snow. Good luck. So the Alnico Gold is a 50-watt speaker, so it has a little bit stronger voice coil in it than does the Alnico Blue. I think the Blue also has a little bit thinner cone to it, so it's a little, it's articulate for low-powered amps. Ooh. Excuse me. I apologize. I'm sleepy today. I can't wake up. I think I need some food and some caffeine. When did Celestion start getting the Gold right? Pretty much right from the beginning. The very first version of it was a little stiff, and then they got it right. I mean, I think they might have only had one batch of the ones that weren't great. Those were really good. And it was a really small, really small run. I believe the SPL, I can look it up here really quick. Let me get on my other computer. Let's go to Celestion.com. And I will tell you what the SPL on the Alnico Gold is. They got a lot of speakers now. I tell you, their Alnico Gold 10-inch is the best 10-inch I've ever heard. The SPL on this speaker is 100 dB. So it's a pretty hot speaker. Yikes. Banging my desk. I got too much stuff here. I'm trying to get where I can speak with you guys. They do mix and match really well with the G12H30. If you mix them with a Vintage 30 or an M, it'll overpower them. Because the M especially, but the Vintage 30 is a lower SPL speaker. And the H is by far the most articulate, robust ceramic speaker they make. It just doesn't take a lot of power. It's only 30 watts. A Vintage 30 is actually a 60-watt speaker, if I'm not mistaken. It's just meant to sound like some 30-watt speaker, they thought. But, well, the Vintage 30 is 100 dB also. Let's see. Can't see the power rating on here. But I believe it's a 60-watt speaker, even though it says 30 on it. Yeah, 60 watts. Gosh, I can't stop yawning. SPL is sound pressure level. So that's how many decibels you get out when you put 1 watt in. It's how efficient the speaker is really the quick way to say it. So it's let's look up the official definition. I'll read it to you. Definition for SPL. Gosh, I got the habitual yawns now. Sound pressure or acoustic pressure is the local pressure deviation from the ambient atmospheric pressure caused by a sound wave. Sound pressure in air can be measured using a microphone or in water by using a hydrophone. The SI unit for sound pressure, P, is the Pascal. Symbol is PA. Sound pressure level or sound level is a logarithmic measure of how loud a damn telephone is when you're trying to talk. Sound pressure level, or SPL, is a logarithmic measure of the effective sound pressure of sound relative to a reference value. It is measured in decibels above standard reference level. The commonly used zero reference point sound pressure is 20 micropascals RMS, which is usually considered the threshold of human hearing. So, does that help? It's basically, in a nutshell, how efficient the speaker is. So, anyway, the more efficient the speaker is, the louder your amp sounds. You know, that's one of the ways we get low-powered amps to sound big. More efficient speakers cost more money, which is why G12Ms are more affordable than G12Hs. Because it takes a better mechanism to work. And that's why a vintage 30 costs less than a G12H 30. So you get the idea. All right, what else can I do for you guys before we call it a day? Once again, the Producer 6L, available for sale right now. If you're in the United States, you can call us, pay for it, and we'll build you one right away. You can also still order it through a dealer. Your dealer will get paid if you order it through a dealer. But we need to get paid for it to build it. We got to kickstart the weird cycle that's going on in the music industry right now. If you are in Canada, there are amps on the way in a few weeks. If you are in Norway, there are amps on the way in a few weeks. Yeah, I got to get paid. Our dealers got to get paid. My vendors got to get paid. And the whole business cycle right now is constipated. Just unbelievably constipated. So we're trying to figure out a way to jumpstart it so we can get our dealers back in the saddle. And they're having problems not just with selling our stuff. They're having trouble selling everything. They don't have any liquid cash. So I got 15 guys that want to stock a full line of 65 amps, but they can't afford to do it. So I'm going to try to make it easier for them somehow, and that involves you. So hopefully we can work something out. Once again, the numbers to call are 303-514-9457, and that is for Rich Ross. My number here at my desk, if you want to talk to me, is 818-760-5089. So let me give you both those numbers again. 303-514-9457. That is Rich. 818-760-5089. That is my desk. It's also hard to move something that doesn't say Marshall or Fender. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of that. The problem is those big companies can give ridiculous terms to these small stores. So I know most of the big companies now are offering 6-month terms. 6 months for the dealer to pay for the gear. So it's hard for them to pass that up if they want to keep making money. It's a little tough on guys like us because you can't compete with that. But, yeah. 6 months. That's right. 6-month terms are pretty common these days for the big companies. You know, Fender, Marshall, Box, Orange, Egnator. You know, the guys that do the large-scale Chinese manufacturing, they can somehow afford to do that. So, there you have it. And boy, am I sleepy. What happened to me? I'm pooped. I need some food. What else do you guys want to know? Tell me a good story. Ask me some questions. They finance it, Eric. I think they finance it. And they know by offering these small stores 6-month terms, it's a deal they can't refuse. And that guy, because he's got a huge bill to pay from these large vendors, doesn't have any cash. He knows he's got a balloon payment coming up soon. And he's focused solely on selling those little $800 fenders. What were the numbers for? Dirty 59, those are our sales numbers. For the Producer 6L, for the first 20 of them, we are going to sell them direct. Unless you want to buy it through a dealer, you can do that. But we're going to sell some of these direct just in the United States. Not in Canada or Mexico or Europe. We're having a lot of dealers that don't have any money to stock and they want to sell the amp. So if you want to buy it through your dealer, we're still going to pay them a commission. But this way they don't, the price is the same. That's correct. We're going to pay them a commission for it, so that way we can get them some business and get people coming through their door without them having to lay out cash. So, Rock and Roll Willie says, power section question. How is it that some amps, the two 6L6s, have 28 watts and a pair more commonly puts out around 40 watts? It's the voltage on the tubes. Most 6L6 pairs are 50 watts. If they're solid state rectified and grid biased. Oh, pardon me. And this amp is solid state rectified and cathode biased, but it's low voltage. So the higher the voltage, the more output you get from the tubes. It's also harder on the tubes. Tubes don't like voltage. They like to have current, but not voltage. But it's true. I mean, you can take a pair of 6L6s and get 5 watts out of them if you run them cold enough. But this one is cold. Oh my gosh, I so apologize. Something's wrong with me. I think I'm getting sick or something. But yes, write a tube amp book. Maybe I'll need to. My neighbor said I got a black bell. I said, good, you're going to need it to lower your ass into the ground. I'm not sure what that means, HMS Hood, but I kind of strangely like it. Yeah, the price is the same. What you're going to get is, I'm going to sign it, we're going to number it. You're going to get it right away. We're going to build it as fast as we humanly can. So that is the thing. And if you want to order it through one of your dealers, I'm going to give him a spiff on it. But you got to pay for it up front. And I will give you full paperwork and a receipt. And we'll keep you in the loop along the build so you can see what's happening with it. And we're good to go. They lower caskets with belts. Oh, black belt. I thought I just read bell for some reason because the mouse on my screen was over the window. That's a good question here, Dirty 59. Do you think your business model would be different if you sold all amps direct? Yeah, maybe. It's a lot of work when you do it all direct. I don't know if it'd be better or worse, to be honest. I don't think I'd sell as many amps as I do now. Definitely make more money doing that. So it's a problem right now because so many dealers are broke. They can't afford to buy our stuff to put it in the store. They want to. They can sell them. There's no question about that. And I've got a lot of orders on the board, but man, cash flow is just constipated for everybody. Yeah, Christopher, and I like having the amps in the stores too. It's good way to do it. I mean, I do have this show, which is sort of unusual in our business, so I can reach a lot more people. You know, there's times when this show has had over 120,000 clicks on it. You know, when I promote it a little bit. So, you know, on average, I'm getting tens of thousands of viewers a week. So, no, we're not going to do Carvin. Carvin, you know, it's offshore stuff. Mail order catalog. Offshore stuff. So when I bought from my dealer, I was basically buying direct. I talked to you a lot about it. Well, no, the dealer paid for it, and you paid him. Yeah, I'd like to do a reality show. My reality is pretty interesting. But, you know, the same thing can apply now, Dirty 59. You can talk to your dealer and order it through them. You just gotta pay for it. And that's going to put you at the front of the line. So, if dealers can't pay for them, somebody's got to pay for them, because these things cost way too much to build and just throw out in the world. Maybe make a green line for direct amps. Yeah, I don't know. I got to do this right now. I don't know if it's an election year or what's going on, but well, I don't know what that is. Hello? Hello? Do you guys hear that? I guess what I'm saying is I gave him the money the day I decided to buy it, and then it was ordered. Yeah, I don't know where you ordered that from. It depends. Sometimes they take a deposit. Sometimes I get it. Sometimes I don't. I can always build faster if I'm building with your money. Spokane. It's the troll under the factory. Yeah, I'd have to look and see. Was that from Wei Yin? He probably paid us. He's a good dude. Learn to burn, yeah. Probably. You know, same kind of deal. Kid Glove says, I need humbuckers. What are your favorites? It depends on what guitar they're going in and what you're going to do with them. Are you a metal guy? Are you a blues guy? Are you a classic rock guy? What kind of guitar? It makes a big difference. But, you know, I like kind of lower powered PAF style stuff. The ones with two bobbins. SG Radiohead guy. Yeah, get some Lawler Imperials or some Duncan Antiquities. What pickups are you using in your light colored? Those are made by Ron Ellis. They're PAFs. And I like them a lot. They're just in the other room. I should have it in here. Anyway, very nice. Vitamins every day, young man. Twice a day, jeans. Yeah. Bare Knuckle. There's a lot of great ones. Ron Ellis. Ellis. I don't know if you can find him on the internet or not. He's just kind of getting his business started. I've known Ron for years. And he's been making pickups for years, just selling them to artists. Yeah, if you do Ron Ellis pickups, he's got a Facebook page. And he's got a website as well. Now, Ron, the NASA guy was Tim White. Tim White is the guy that made the NASA dude that made my humbuckers that are in this guitar here, in this Cherry Burst thing. Oh, let's see. There's some videos. Ron made the pickups for the Leroy Parnell model that Gibson's offering right now. Oh, yeah. He says, I love the tone you get out of that guitar in the first London Pro demo thing. Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's a cool guitar. I like that one a lot. The guys use it in the shop all the time, so I never have it here. I could grab it though. They love to test amps with that guitar, so I just let them use it. Bare knuckle pickups are freaking expensive. Yeah, you know, anything good costs money. There's no cheap gear that sounds great, and cheap is always expensive. Low cost means high price. You pay the price for low cost in mediocre sound or poor performance. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to get out of here. I'm falling asleep. Yeah, there's no way around it. I mean, I know everybody and their brother is looking for that magic bullet of here's something that's cheap that sounds great. It doesn't exist. It never has. I mean, you look at, there's an equation where you can see what money is over time. So if something cost this in this year, what would that cost this year? And, you know, like the imported amps like Vox and Marshall, you know, a Vox AC30 was like $400 and something in 1965. And that equates to almost $4,000 now. You know, that's just what it costs to make gear. And there's not really any great stuff coming out of China. And, you know, all that stuff. Dirty 59 says, quality never costs as much as the money it saves. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I always say low cost usually means high price. And cheap is not inexpensive. I know it's a lifelong pursuit of guys. Like, you know, I have this conversation probably a couple days a week of, hey, I bought this amp for $1,100 and I bought that one for $1,700 and I bought that one for $1,500. And they give me this huge long list of amps they bought that they're unhappy with. And they're like, well, why am I going to pay $2,500 for a 65? I'm like, dude, I think you've already spent $10,000 and you're unhappy. And you probably sold every one of those amps for a loss. So you probably already wasted a couple grand, which is what our amps cost. And I guarantee you'd be happy with this. And it has a lifetime warranty on it, except for the tubes, of course. So, give up the quest for cheap and great. Cheap stuff's cheap. Always has been. Always has been. Always will be. There's no wizard who's going to come up with a cheap guitar that sounds fantastic. Because he'd just be silly not to charge more for it if he did. But it's just kind of physically impossible. You have to use good materials. And it's expensive. Except for porn. That's right, Eric. But I love junk food. All right, fellas. I'm feeling not well, to be honest with you. So I am going to sign off. It's 1:45 on the West Coast. Yes, Dirty 59, you're right. Thank you, Doc Electric. Thanks, Frank. Kid Gloves, thank you, Eric, Andre. Yeah, I need oxygen or a nap or something. I'm not feeling good at all. So anyway, here are the numbers. 303, write them down. 303-514-9457 for Rich Ross, our sales guy. 818-760-5089. We can get you rolling today. So give us a call. Even if you just want to chat about it, we will talk to you very soon. Thank you very much for the kind words and the sympathy for me feeling I need a Krankenschwester. Yeah, that's right. I need a nurse. You're exactly right. Thanks for all the kind words and patience. It's always an honor to speak with you. And I will see you next week. So once again, it's October 12th. No, it's not. It's October 24th, 2012. And I have been here with the Producer 6L, which is on sale starting today. Come on and buy. Let me know if I can help you with any questions or concerns. All right? Take care, fellas. Bye-bye.